I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to War Hospital. This is episode number 6. After the disaster and the chaos that came last time, the event prompted it, but we were low on supplies. So one of the key things going forward is to try to build up those supplies. Now, we've started to set up the process for scouting, but it's still not there because we didn't have, resources that we needed. But in the short term, we've also got to start trying to get on track with surgeries, survival rates, trying to get the guys through. First thing we're doing is anyone who need a lot of surgical supplies, they're out. They're getting denied, even if they can be saved, because we just don't have the resources to save everyone. And if one surgery is going to use 8 resources, unless it's a VIP, I suppose, you could save 4 patients that have 2 resources necessary for using the same amount versus that one. So making those harder decisions. For now, I'm setting a cap of 5 and looking our next patient, the only one that's serious right now of the 9 that are awaiting quick surgery, fairly easy surgery. I'm not a fan of the 5 supplies that it's going to require, but for now, that's the limit that I'm setting. And actually, as an amputation means they can't even go back to the front, but we don't need them to go back to the front right now. We need things like, say, morale to be used. So we're going to have some choices to make here. The next group are all stable, and I think we're going to start with whoever is, say, the easiest, least amount of supplies used. So getting things on the go, once again, let's hope we can save some people while we're at it, and we already have a choice coming up on a surgery here. Shorter rehab or decreased cost. Of course, we want the decreased cost. Nice. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. We are getting some events popping up. It looks like we have a nurse ready to level up. Yes, Madison Humphrey, who is tired. We need to get her a rest. We'll make her composed. And let's see if we can sort out the assignments here. And yeah, we've got somebody who's already collapsed, actually. So we're not taking care of everyone properly. We were a little distracted before, though. So let's get them out of here. 2 exhausted engineers, but that pharmacy is the priority. So we need to get 2 more moved to there. When those 2 are recovered, we'll put them where we can. For the moment, we finally have the casualty clearing station at max and not over. Rehab center's down to 3. We've taken care of that one. And the advanced dressing station has no one in it. And apparently no one waiting in the trenches, at least at the moment. Morale increase and shorter rehab on patient showing high spirit. Nice. It's a good event. We do have 130 supply at the moment at the train station. That just recently came in from the train station. This is a big moment for us because the scouting was something we desperately needed to get on with. So let's check in where we're at on those camp improvements. So we do have the scout tent complete. It was the production, right? There we go. Provides a truck that can be sent to depots in scout map. Increases number of available trucks by 1. 50 resources. Not a fan of using that up. But it's a big opportunity for us to go find resources, or at least one would hope we'll find resources. We'll take one of these guys for that. And here comes more patients. Even though we have an advanced stress station and somebody's working there, we're still not getting anything at the moment.
Hello, sir. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lieutenant Isaac Hopper from the Australian Imperial Force. I have orders to report to Major Wells.
That will be me, Lieutenant. Let me welcome you to our hospital.
It's my pleasure to be here, sir. If I may say, sir, what are my orders?
Straight to the point, eh? Very well then. We are receiving intel from HQ, but it's only limited to the German attacks in No Man's Land. We need you and your men to be our eyes and ears outside this town.
Understood, sir. Then, when you have time, please join me in the scout tent, sir, so we may discuss the next step over the situation map.
Sir, operation was successful.
Alright, we've just had our first successful operation in a while. Back to a +9. We have 3 hours to get that truck before we're going to bother sending out our scout team. Do I even have my scout team ready yet? Shorter operation and risk goes down to 0. Wow, we've had a good string of events here, but a lot of that's coming down to selecting the right surgeries that have a high chance of success. We're about to get another, which will get us back to a plus 10.
Operation was successful.
That first scout team has arrived, so they are finally here on site, and this is all we know about them at the moment. So we have a team. No, we have one guy in a team of 2? No, he's got a couple people with him. Okay. We'll learn more about them soon enough. And we have a first event here with scout missions. Okay, so it looks like recovering resources is going to take the truck. But scouting does not necessarily require the truck, so we're already kind of a step in the right direction. At the moment, we have 5 available scout missions. Number of missions, we don't know really what to expect until we've kind of been there, done that. So first up is smoke to ashes, ashes to dust. Smoke can be seen south of the hospital. Scout team should be sent to investigate. And we do have a scout team to do that, so they're awaiting orders. So it'll take 4.5 hours.
Sir, Scouts unit has started a new mission. Sir, operation was successful.
Suddenly we're up to a plus 12. That's really good. Assigning more surgeries is probably going to be a good idea. We're up to 11 resources now, actually, so we're making some progress there. But we've used up the raw materials for the time being, so this is going to be it for this round. We'll check on what we have regarding our next delivery, our next cargo trade in the near future. But we're down to 2 stable patients. I'm not a fan of the fact, though, that they're going to take 9 supplies. So it's going to take basically everything we have for the time being to get those 2 taken care of. That'll get them done soon enough, and it keeps everyone alive for the time being. And that'll use up our current set of resources. We'll have to wait again before we can treat more patients. But that's going to be a near perfect survival rate for the first time in a little while, after last episode was very much a bit of a mess. Next train is coming in under 2 hours. It is going to be a cargo train followed by another cargo train, but that's not until the early hours of the morning, so it's going to be quite a gap in between the 2. And then it'll be noon that next day before we get another cargo train, so bit of a break in between. And it looks like another nurse has leveled up. That's good. Alright, garage construction is completed. So if we do find resources on the scout map, we're going to now start being able to recover those. And that, of course, is going to be a huge key going forward. Morale is growing, but it's at just 34%. Food has been growing, but it's at just 33%. I should probably be resting my scouts or my engineers at the moment, as we have nothing. So we're gonna get everyone a bit of a rest before that cargo train comes in. I don't think there's any upgrades I can do currently. We already kind of went through and did that.
On the way.
Engineers all sent to rest for now. Number of guys have been piling up here at the rehab center. Let's make some decisions. We have one that's already set for release from duty. We have a VIP who probably has limits on what we can do with him. He will be a +3. Send him to HQ. We're going to need morale boosts from many of the others, though. We'll want to send... That's 12%. I think that's already enough. We can send the others to HQ. Or do we want to at least have one sent to the front? I like the idea of somebody going to the front, right? No, we'll take the +7.
Sir, patient is cured. Sir, patient is cured.
Decreased cost. Love it. Oh, good events. That's going to give us 2 more resources that we can then put towards... gets us down to 4 patients waiting. All ones that have a bit of an increased cost in terms of supply. Oh, the cargo train came in already? Yes, it did. We're up to 236 resources. I sent everybody on a break, so getting them back out here. 2 to the pharmacy. 2 to handle food. Until that food supply gets up to about 100+, we're going to keep that as a primary focus and let those last 2 rest a little bit longer.
patients.
We only have two military contracts at the moment, but the advanced dressing station can now be used to decrease speed of patient condition deterioration by 25%, meaning that holdover area as they come out of the trenches where we've lost so many patients, right? More than half of the patients we've lost, which a third of the patients we've lost came due to the train accident, but half the patients we've lost have come from not making it to us alive, right? Dying in the trenches themselves, something we're now addressing, but this is going to help with that significantly more. We have our two resting engineers. They'll start a little bit late, but we'll get them on that assignment. Oh, that's funny. We just lost 3 more patients. Now, I did have extra patients. Okay, yes. So we had patients that were still in the denied file. You can see that folder is empty now. So we are getting them taken care of, and we're down to really just that 4 that are awaiting something, anything.
On the way.
Another event, another positive one, shorter rehab, and increased morale. Nice, up to 43% now. That was a big boost. I think the ones we selected for morale that took off for the train station. And actually there's a train pulling away.
Sir, new patient arrived.
That personnel train is not till 10 a.m. tomorrow though, so not sure about that, but we still have our regular train coming in the early hours of the morning as we head into the evening now. Another event, another positive event, all risk gone and shorter operation. And we're up to 6 supplies, so we might be able to, as we have more. Oh, hello, smoke to ashes, ashes to dust. This is the first scout mission. Following the smoke, the scouts find a small farm. It seems the buildings of the farm caught fire and are now burning out. A man with a badly burned body stands in front of the charred ruins. He is surrounded by a group of 4 children. Corpse lays before them, burned beyond recognition. They seem to be in a strange state of shock and despair, with pain and emptiness in their eyes. When approached, the man regains some semblance of calm. When questioned, he tells the scouts that his house caught fire and his wife did not manage to escape the flames. He tried to go back for her, but it was too late. When he learns the scouts are from the hospital, he asks if they could take his children with them to the hospital. He knows they will be taken care of there. In exchange, he offers what is left of his farm and supplies. The supplies are probably a good thing for us. What are we going to do with the 4 children? Can we put them to work? Do we have to house them somewhere? Not sure. Oh, maybe yeah, there you go. Take them all in. Not just the children. He could at least be of use to us. Children we don't know about, but I think that's a better proposal from our perspective. So we'll take in 5 people. Scout team salvage 50 food, 200 raw resources. Yes. Okay. Nice. Got an achievement for that also. And 5 patients now waiting. Only 2 resources available at the moment though, so we can't operate on any of them just yet. Any additional ones just yet, that is. There we go. Advanced dressing station now has 3 new patients.
Sir, patient is cured.
We lost 1 patient during an operation. Gosh, I didn't think any of the operations we had were of any sort of risk, so surprising that just happened, but it happened. The one that's dropped to stable condition will get the next surgery. We have just enough resources for him.
Operation was successful.
And again, he's right on our limit. By the way, still waiting in the trauma ward is a single patient. 4 required resources. We have 2, so we'd have to get 2 more made if we're going to get him taken care of. Meanwhile, the chemical ward is clear. At just 2 resources, we're going to give it a go. We'll put a single engineer on getting those made up so that surgery can be done. And we can save that particular patient, hopefully. Next couple of patients in the rehab center are going to go back to the front just to add to the strength there a little bit before we then, again, return our focus to military contracts and morale.
Medics are on the way.
We definitely want to get that morale back above 50% in the near future, but for the moment, from 31 back up to 46 is definitely a good thing. Another event. Decreased risk, shorter operation. Good. Looks like to go retrieve those supplies, we're going to have to go back to get them. So we'll assign our scout team to head that way. That casualty clearing station is once again full. We are up to 7 resources at least. We've got 2 guys that are stable, and combined, they're going to use up 7 resources. So right now the decision making is fairly easy. It's really just which doctor to assign them to, who's needing rest and who isn't. Our 4 a.m. train's going to be here in a little over an hour. Plus, with the scout mission, we should have a better amount of supply for a good while, actually.
Sir, patient is cured.
You see just how significant the difference is between the trauma medicine production versus the surgical supplies. 2 engineers versus 1, yes, but just in general, the pace is significantly different. That was the 3rd supply. We need 1 more to save that patient. Latest train has come in, bringing supplies back up to 248 for the time being. I think we're still waiting on that scout team. Maybe not. We're already up to 5 surgical resources. So things are improving. Food, though, I don't know if we could say that's improved. Right, we're at 46. It's slowly increasing over time, but
Sir,
things are obviously tricky. Another event, decreased cost. I like the idea of that. It's low risk already. Take the decreased cost because that's going to allow us to save more patients. So with those 2 resources back, we're able to assign another surgery. We had already just assigned one that was going to use 5 resources, and now we're sitting at 8, so we're only short by a single resource for the next guy. 2 stable patients, and actually the guy on 3 is going to be the one who needs to go next anyway, as his wounds are a little bit worse than the other one, meaning he's likely to deteriorate a bit faster. Meanwhile, 2 more patients in the rehab center that have recently been saved. We don't need a release from duty right now. Morale is okay. Yes, I want to get it above 50%, but nothing urgent. We have 5. This guy, we'll get him on the next train. That's going to make it 8 on the contracts. We got that 4th supply for the trauma and have now given what we needed for that operation. So that trauma operation is finally ready to take place. Now there's no supplies left there, and we are in need of the alcohol supplies more than the trauma medicine at the moment. So we're going to probably swap out the need here, but the guy is already a little bit tired, so we'll just send him on rest. This one is ready to go, so we'll pull out one of these guys.
He was on the way.
We're going to need a few additional military contracts before we start another upgrade. And we've had another event. Follow normal procedure cuts the risk from 2 to 1, or lower chances for a wound to not heal fully, but a longer rehab by 57 hours. No thank you. Cut down the resource.
Sir, operation was successful.
Successful.
Sir, engineers reached the pharmacy.
So good to have these successful operations once again. It's been a while. And hello. Look what we have here. Looks like a medic team. Yes. All right. Scout mission. On to our next usual day at war. HQ has issued a wanted poster for a deserted French medical officer. Our scouts have been asked to help with the search. For all we know, they could wind up at our hospital, right, as a positive event. It's going to take them a while to get through that one.
Started a new mission.
Cemetery team is exhausted. We'll get them resting. We have a very tired nurse. The operating ward. We'll get her resting. And our 2 guys are still resting here for now.
Medics are on the way.
Supplies are up to 12. Dang, okay. Well, let's get in here and see what we can do. We've already got arrested 1. We've got somebody that's stable. But we do have 8. That's all 12 already committed. But look, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. The patients list is decreasing. Trauma ward does have a new patient and 3 more supply necessary. We have nothing Might have to let them go, but in time we might be able to get those three. Three is not bad, but it takes a lot of resources for that trauma ward and that chemical ward. Rehab center. Numbers are growing rapidly here. 2 more. Only a +1. Wherever you put them. We'll send them to HQ eventually. And actually, I think we'll just send them both to HQ. We need upgrades. We need upgrades bad. Meanwhile, we have 3 at the advanced dressing station. There is a medic team assigned. There's 2 wounded already brought into the dressing station. 1 left in the trenches. And we have a dispatch from HQ. They're pleased with our current performance due to our handling of Sergeant Clark Hill's case. Soldiers on the front line were inspired, and there was a noticeable increase in their morale. We're going to get 4 military contracts and 1 more staff. Nice. Nice. With a +9, we now have the ability to begin our next upgrade. Using just 50 resources and 3 military contracts, we're going to take an eyes irrigation solution for the chemical ward. Chemical ward's a little easier to use than the trauma ward. 50% chance of operation simplifications, which means decreased cost or time or increased chance of success. So we'll go ahead and take that improvement. And we have 1 guy waiting in, we're only going to assign 1 because we're going to put the other one in that pharmacy where you've got somebody who's pretty tired and get them swapped out. We've got a train coming in 2 hours. What is that train going to bring? It's personnel. But there's another one 2 hours later. So we have 4 hours to the next cargo train and then another this evening. Looks like in general the cargo trains show up once every 10 hours or so. 10 to 11 hours. It's a little slightly under every half day on range. And there you go, morale rises and risk goes from 1 to 0. We've also picked up additional resources. We've got 5 available. We're down to a couple guys that are stable. This one is not looking the greatest. But it's just 4 resources. It's a 4-hour surgery. This guy's almost done resting, so we'll have him go there. Actually, this one is well rested and already operating on, which means he'll be done sooner.
Sir, operation was successful.
Another successful operation. Music to my ears. The resources are low once again, and we've got 2.5 hours before the next cargo train is coming. We've got 8.5 hours before the scouts return from their mission.
Sir, operation was successful.
Here is the personnel train. And just like that, staff contracts jump to a +11 with a group headed to HQ. We already have 1 upgrade on the way, done in 2 hours, so we'll wait a little bit longer before we start the next upgrade. Cured patient heading back to the front. We've got another one that will be heading there shortly, so we're still at least contributing a little bit to the front.
Sir, operation was successful.
Trauma patient has been saved, so we succeeded on that operation. But of course, we now have 0 trauma supplies following that one. So hopefully we don't have any really tough decisions to make there later on.
Nurses reached the hospital.
But we're out of freight for the time being, so no general supply. Only 45 minutes till the next train, though, so we're not going to be out of action too long. I'm not even going to send our engineers away as a result. That upgrade is complete. We've got time for another. And the supplies just arrived. We do not want to necessarily be spending them all on upgrades. Obviously, we're still just keeping up, and we want to get ahead. But these upgrades are also one of the key ways that we essentially get ahead. Got to be careful on how we choose to do this, but I think as we've done a lot of healing upgrades of late to help make the operations successful, it's time to look at other options. That's an expensive one, as we don't have 200 freight. This is 300 freight. That's 400 freight, so none of those are happening anytime soon. Decreases construction time of improvements in the engineering depot by 25% is very handy. It's going to take quite a while to get that done. Man, that would be super handy long term. But it's going to use most of our resources in the short term, meaning we're going to go right back into difficulty for a little while if we choose to do that. And that's just construction time. That's all that's cutting down. Scout Team Expansion is a pretty easy upgrade that's not going to hurt us. No supply used, 1 military contract of our 11, and just a few hours increasing the number of scouts in the teams by 1. We're going to go ahead and take that improvement. Again, the decisions just keep getting made for us in terms of the patient that's most in need, somebody that's stable. So we'll get them on there next. That's going to use all but 2 resources. We do have the ability to get one of them saved, but I think the others are going to be more in need. Not sure if I want to do somebody who requires 6 at this point. We may deny them, but maybe not. Meanwhile, demand is here and we don't have resources. Demand is 8. Really? Oh, and it's a VIP. High chance of survival. Yeah, okay. We need 2 chemical resources, so let's go ahead and change things. Assignment wise here, we got somebody resting. Food is doing slightly okay right now. Let's go ahead and put one of them there so we can start getting the 2 supplies we need to get that surgery done. The VIPs come with some sort of bonus. That was a reality of the war, and I'm glad the game brings that in. That's the real world, folks. Those who have nothing are always a step behind. Oh, a negative event, though, has triggered. We're looking at increased risk from 3 to 2, or decreased risk for an increased cost. That's not bad risk. We're going to follow normal procedure. Save those 2 resources for the next patient. Morale up over 50%. Let's see something depressing. We have 7 bodies that are waiting for burial. We've buried 50. There's a total of 68 deceased. And there's a memorial. I'm going to take a look at it. Okay, that's our stone that the villager has opted to help us out with.
Sir, one of the patients recently brought to the casualty clearing station had with him a personal letter addressed to you, sir.
Okay, another VIP situation from the looks of it. Yes, and it's another chemical ward situation. This one might be easier to do first, because by the time we have the resources for the other one, it's going to take quite some time. We were within 1 resource, but we can do that surgery immediately. And then by the time that surgery is done, the doctor can rest a little bit, and hopefully we can save the other patient as well. But this way, the resources take priority on which one we're going to save, and we're almost guaranteed 1 positive outcome at least. Meanwhile, in the rehab center, 4 new choices. None of them are good. We got a single +2, the others are all +1s. That's not great. That's not great at all. Choices, though. Where to put the boosts? Well, let's spread it out a little bit. We're going to send a couple to the trenches. We'll send 2 points to morale and 1 point to HQ. Balance it out. Get a little bit of everything. We're getting close to that next attack, but the casualty clearing station not yet keeping up. We are starting to keep up, actually, a little bit better on the... Yeah, there you go. We've got 2 well-rested doctors, 1 operation happening, and we've got 9 resources for the time being. And again, difficult choice of, do we want to commit to this guy? And we will. We're going to go ahead and commit to him, and we're going to get a second on the go right away as we have the doctors ready and waiting. That uses up all of our resources, though, in the short term. We're going to need 9 more to save those other
Sir,
3
patient
patients.
is cured.
So just constant issue. Now, one thing we could do though, we could order supplies. All those contracts from all those saved patients, send them to HQ, and you turn around and bring more in. What's it going to cost us to order resources? Surgical supplies, you get 5 for 2. Here we get 5 for the cost of 3. That's actually pretty decent. That's 5 for 3. That would use up 8 of 13 that we have, by the way. Food rations, much cheaper, 20 for 1. Alcohol is also 10 for 1. Wow. Okay. Well, let's get on top of that a little bit. Let's get the food rations back up into a good state. The food's so hard to produce and uses a lot of resources, yet you could get food rations pretty dang cheap. We're going to use all 13 points here. We're going to get on top of the food situation. We're going to get a big boost to the alcohol situation. And then get a little boost in the other areas. Turning that back into something else. Not using the engineers on the food rations quite as much, but the more valuable surgical supply, chemical supply, trauma supply could be useful, and the alcohol supply as well, right? The alcohol is cheap, food rations are cheap, but they're not cheap in terms of freight. So if we more frequently bring that in, now we're cooking. It is going to be 4 hours before that arrives. Scout Team 1 expansion construction has finished. Scout Team's already out and about though, so I'm sure it's not going to help out until the next one. We have a surgery that's nearly done. We're at plus 20. So this is, do we get that tipping point? Do we get it back to a plus 21? Or do we stay in the teens? And in the meantime, change the assignments. We're going to keep it at 1 on the food now. No more 2. I think we've found the answer, right? Yes, we need supply, but that freight use, not helpful. And again, up here, if we put them on the alcohol supply, it's going to be the same issue, right? These are the expensive ones to acquire. We do have someone here who is struggling, so let's go ahead and give them a rest. And then we'll have to swap out one of the guys in the pharmacy in the near future. We used up all of our upgrade points, so we can't do anything there in the short term. But again, it was really important that we improve our situation regarding the freight and regarding the supplies. And we've done something about that in a big way. Job not done. Job is very much not done. And that,
reached the pharmacy.
another negative event. No way are we spending 6. Increased risk to a 3. Yeah, job not done, but we've improved our situation. And with another successful surgery there, we're at plus 21. So much better than where things were. We're just 11 away from 100. Saved now as well. So things are looking up. But at least in a couple areas, in the short term, things are still tricky. But we're about to have a huge supply train coming in. That's going to help us out in a big way. And in general, another train in 2.5 hours anyway. And it's got mission done in 40 minutes. So, yeah, optimistic of things to come. Also, an attack coming in the short term as well. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.